Welcome back, my friends, to today's verse-by-verse Bible study. As we study today from Genesis chapter 11. Have you ever wondered why we speak so many different languages? Where did all the variety come from? Well, the answer might be found in one of the most famous stories from the book of Genesis, chapter 11. It's the story of the Tower of Babel. Let's set the scene. After the great flood, the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. Imagine that. Everyone, everywhere, could understand each other perfectly. As people journeyed from the east, they found a plain in the land of Shinar, which is in modern-day Iraq, and they decided to settle there. Living together with one language, they started getting ambitious. They said to one another, "Come, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly." They had brick for stone, and they had slime or bitumen for mortar. They were innovating, creating new building technologies. And what did they plan to build with these new materials? They said, "Come, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth." Their motivation was twofold. First, they wanted to build a tower that reached the heavens. This wasn't just about height. It was a symbol of their own power and achievement, a way to make a name for themselves. They wanted to be famous, to be remembered for their greatness. Second, they wanted to stay together. They feared being scattered across the earth. They wanted to build a central point of unity, a monument to hold their civilization together in one place. It was a project born from human pride and a desire for security. But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, "Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language." And this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. God saw their ambition and recognized that with their unity and shared language, their potential for both good and ill was limitless. Their pride was leading them to believe they could achieve anything, even reaching heaven on their own terms. This wasn't the plan God had for humanity. He had commanded them after the flood to be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth to spread out, not to huddle together in one spot, defying his will. So, God intervened. He said, "Come, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech." It wasn't a destructive act with fire or flood, but something far more subtle and profound. Suddenly, people who had been communicating flawlessly could no longer understand each other. Imagine the chaos. The foreman couldn't tell the workers what to do. The brickmakers couldn't understand the builders. The project ground to a halt. Because of this confusion of languages, they left off to build the city. And so the place was called Bebu, from a Hebrew word that sounds like to confuse or to mix up. The very thing they feared, being scattered, is exactly what happened. The Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth. People grouped together with those they could understand and moved away, forming new tribes and new nations, taking their new languages with them. The story of the Tower of Babel explains the origin of different languages and cultures. It's a powerful lesson about human pride versus divine will. The people wanted to make a name for themselves, but God is the one who ultimately directs the course of human history. Their attempt to create a unified, man-made utopia was thwarted, and instead, God's plan for a diverse world filled with many peoples and nations was set in motion. The chapter doesn't end there. It then lists the generations from Shem, one of Noah's sons, down to a man named Abram, who we later know as Abraham. This is so important. The narrative shifts from the scattering of humanity at Babel to the calling of one man, Abram, through whom God would begin his plan of redemption to ultimately bring people from every tribe, tongue, and nation back to himself. It shows that even in an act of judgment and scattering, God was already laying the foundation for a future of blessing and reconciliation. So, from the plains of Shinar to the whole world, the story of Babel is a foundational tale about our origins, our languages, and the nature of both human ambition and God's sovereignty. It's a reminder that our plans are small, but his are vast and encompassed all of history. Thanks for watching. If you found this story interesting, please like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into ancient texts of the Bible. See you next time!